Hey everybody, welcome back to Gideon Stuff. Today I have a review video. Surprise, surprise, it's a Thursday. Friday. Oh my goodness, it's... You know what's sad is I'm actually recording this on a Wednesday evening to be uploaded on a Friday in a couple of weeks. I have no idea where Thursday came from. Is this going to be one of those where I cut the video and start over? Nah, screw it. We'll just roll with it. So, today's review is of the Cold Steel Secret Edge. Still trying to figure out how I like this little table cover. But, let's go ahead and get into this review with some measurements. So, this is a fixed blade knife. Our blade, I mean, if we measure from the handle, coming in at like just a little over 3.3 inches. We measured just the sharpened edge, which actually doesn't even start at the choil for some reason. Like 2.75. So, there's the sizes. Let's go ahead and do our comparisons. So the Rat 1. The Rat 2. I don't know if we want to do a whole lot of folders. Let's go ahead and get the PM2 and the bug out here, I guess. Feels a little weird to compare folding knives to a fixed blade, but there you have it. And let's actually compare it against a couple things that make sense. Here it is against the Cold Steel Mini Tack Bowie. A lot of similarities, both cold steel neck knives, very similar handles. And then let's also compare against this little Tuya knife I got for free with when I bought the NV3. I keep meaning to do a project with this knife. I keep meaning to make a video about how to do paracord handle wraps, but I never get around to it. Cool little knife, though. I still use it every now and again when I remember that it exists and it is an object that I own. That back in its sheath. Okay, so what are we looking at here in terms of material? So we have an AUS 8 dagger blade, single edge, though it's not double edge. We have Grivex handles, and this is a little stabby, pokey self-defense knife. And that's what I want to get out of the way. First and foremost, I'm not a self-defense dude. I'm just not. If I'm going to be at a Friday night gas station fight, I prefer to have a pew-pew. But this knife is obviously built for self-defense. And that's just not really my world. I actually did take a knife self-defense class a while ago. And, really all I remember is, they told us proper grips and then like body kinetics or something. Obviously, I didn't retain a whole lot from that class, but I am going to be reviewing this knife in its EDC capacities, not its Friday night gas station fight prowess. So, with that out of the way, let's go to some cutting footage. Alrighty guys, you know what time it is? It's knife testing time. Or at least review cutting time. This isn't my testing. But, what are we talking about today? Also, look, another day, another storm about to come in when Gideon's trying to film. I'm noticing a pattern here, I don't know about you guys. But, the knife we're talking about today is the Cold Steel Secret Edge, which is a pretty interesting little knife and a very purpose-driven knife. And I want to get that out of the way really quick. I am not a self-defense guy. I'm not. Okay, so I did not review this knife in terms of tactical stabbery. Okay, I am an EDC guy, and so that's how I reviewed this knife, as an EDC object. Did this benefit me in my everyday life? Because I don't know about you, but I'm not stabbing mofos on the regular in my everyday life. So that's how I reviewed this knife, and that's how we're going to demonstrate its cutting capabilities right here. That thunder sounds good. Oh, there was a raindrop. Okay, let's do this before we get wet. So, the Cold Steel Secret Edge. It is a neck knife fixed blade. As you can see here, the blade steel is AUS 8, and the handles are Cold Steel's special plastic, Grivex. Or, yeah, Grivex, I think is what they call it. So yeah, nothing fancy, but it's also not an expensive knife. So, it works, right? Lightning. Let's talk about the carry first. As I said, neck knife. It comes in the Securex sheath. You know what? We're going to get up close and personal for this. So, it comes in the Securex sheath. Securex works fine. It's a perfectly good material. Very good retention. This little dot here kind of pokes down into a hole in the handle. Not jiggly at all. Very, very solid retention. The chain, as you can see here, is a breakaway chain. So, you know, if this gets caught in something or someone, you know, grabs it or something, you won't be strangled. So that's cool. You do have a nice little spot here to push off when you're retrieving the knife. And yeah, that works good. So overall, the carry works fine as a neck knife. I do like neck knives. I carry several. In fact, I own a Cold Steel mini tack Bowie that I love. I carry it often. And yeah, I'm a neck knife fan. I don't have very many, but I always do enjoy carrying a neck knife. And this one carried just fine. It is a little bit heavier than my mini tack, I think, or at least it feels a little bit different. And I don't know. You can obviously shorten this chain if you want to. This is, I think, the way it comes from factory. This knife is on loan. But yeah, it works fine. Easy to get to. So, and then when putting it back in, so that I don't stab myself in the chest, or so, you know, also so I remember where the sharp edge is, since this is a dagger, I always keep the Securex, zoom in here, I keep the Securex logo pointing toward my right side, and then I always put the knife in with the spine towards the logo. And that way, when it's in. When I pull it out, I know that the edge is going to be facing this way, and that's exactly the way I need to face it to make my cuts. So, that's how I did that. It carries like a good neck knife is supposed to. Alrighty, coming back over here. The blade stock is pretty thin, and it is a flat grind. As you can see, a very, very stabby spear point, dagger point, whatever you want to call it. But let's go ahead and do a little bit of cutting. First of all, we're going to go ahead and pull out the cardboard. Let's test the slicing capabilities. I did not measure behind the edge on this. I probably should have, but I did not. So, it cuts very good. It is a slicey knife. However, the blade shape is not the best for slicing. It's just not the best for going through materials like that. It is good, actually, if you really want to. Let's actually move the camera a little bit closer. Actually. And let's tilt down. There we go. It does make for a fairly good utility cutter. So, yeah, that's nice. That tip points down exactly where you want it. We are not going to do a rope push today, just because, again, this blade shape. What we are going to do, actually, and I forgot to grab the material, so we'll grab that right now. It's right over here. I've been saying actually a lot. We have this little garden tubing. I just want to... You know what? I guess we can do a little bit of a push down on this. Yeah, that's what I thought. Blades like this do not push very good, folks. But, the edge is thin and sliced enough that it, does some damage. All right, let's see how well they did that grind. Let's go ahead and go through our pool noodle. You know what? This thing might need a little bit of a sharpening, but I don't know, the grind itself, I'm sure this could use a sharpening, but the grind itself also feels just a little bit like it's well done for what's supposed to be a stabber, but I just, you know what? Let's sharpen this thing up real quick, and then we'll test again. Alrighty, we are back, and we finished sharpening it up on this little Work Sharp sharpener. We're going to go off on a little bit of a tangent here, but every one of you should own this. If you're a knife person, you need one of these. They're inexpensive, and they're just so damn good. So, we got this little knife sharper. That took us about, I don't know, 4 minutes. Let's see what we got here. Okay, yeah. So see, even though it's sharper now and it bites in better, this is the whole reason I do the pool noodle test. Because now it's sharp, yes, but just the geometry of the grind itself is not very slicey. It's, you know, the blade stock's not very thin, but the grind just does not lend itself to slicing. It lends itself to stabbing. And that's what this knife does. So let's go stab some stuff. Alrighty, let's go ahead and talk about the Cold Steel Secret Edge. What am I liking? What am I not liking? This is probably going to be a short review, guys. Just telling you straight off the bat, this is not my type of knife. But the first thing I'm liking is I think it's really well executed for what it is. This is an under $30 neck knife, and I think they did a really good job. You know, the Aussate steel, perfectly fine for that price tier. Grivex as well. They give you a good sheath. The Secure X, I think, is actually really good from Cold Steel. It's not, you know, Kydex, but it's, you know, it's good. Solid retention. I think that's really, really nice. So, as a self-defense knife, again, I'm not exactly trained in how to use this, but, you know, this Grivex is very grippy. It will not leave your hand. You've got a little bit of jumping up here just to, you know, I guess make sure you're not on the edge. So that works out. It is very stabby and pokey. That's good. In actual utility, this is good for utility cuts, opening your packages, you know, just tiny cuts and slices. It'll work just fine. No problems there. So that's good. And I guess that's really it. I mean, ergonomically, I think it works for what it's intended to be used for. It carries well. You know, we talked about the chain and stuff at the cutting footage. If you want to shorten this up, by the way, I'll just show you on my mini tack, which I do carry quite a bit. I have this kind of a. You can see how I tie it on here. That means it hangs a little bit higher on my chest, doesn't flop around too much, and for me it's a little bit easier to grab. This chain, of course, this knife was loaned in. I just left it the way the owner loaned it in to me, like. So, yeah, there's what I like. I think for $30, this is a great little package that you're getting. I think you're definitely getting your money's worth, and if you are going to be using it, you know, it does work for your utility cuts and opening packages and stuff like that. The handle is grippy. The design, I imagine, will be very good. You know, I can get a good grip on this, so that's good. what am I not liking? This is also going to be a short list. Mainly what I'm not liking is, look at this here. So I did sharpen this knife up a little bit, but before my sharpening job, they didn't even come back to that little sharpening choil there. Don't know why, but they didn't on either side. So there is that. And all my other complaints, I'm not sure if I should even mention them because they're just kind of inherent to the design. You know, I did not like... I don't like the shape of this because, you know, even though I was very careful about making sure I knew where the edge was and stuff, this type of shape just is easy to forget where the edge is, especially if it's a knife that you're, you know, jamming up at your chest when you're putting it away and stuff. So, yeah. But really, my opinion on this knife is I'm not sure I can have an opinion on this knife. And that's kind of a weird thing to say, but it's not my world. It's not the type of knife that I usually carry. If you are trained to use this as a self-defense item and you want to carry this as a self-defense item, would you be able to carry it and also, you know, use it as an EDC knife? And the answer is yes. Yes, you would. Opening packages, just simple cuts, your utility cuts, you'd be able to use this 100%. And I'm sure that, you know, you can take out some bad guys with it as well. But, again, I'm not trained in that, so I will leave that part of the review up to more knowledgeable people. For now, that's really all I can share about it. Can I recommend it? If you're just looking for an EDC neck knife, no, don't get this. I don't think it'll work very well for you. If you're a self-defense dude, yeah, I think it'll work fine. So, that's been the video. Hope you guys enjoyed. I've been Gideon. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one. Adios.